As it pertains to qualifying, obviously Daytona 500 is going to have 2 races that determine the qualifying for the race on Sunday. But then it seems to me like there's only 8 races all year right now that look like they'll actually have qualifying. So the ones that don't have qualifying and lap speed to determine the starting order that week, how is that going to work?
Well, it's basically they're going to have a formula to determine the starting order. So last year it was based off of a driver's finish in the previous race and his speed during the race and his standings, and it'll be kind of a similar formula this year. So we'll know the qualifying lineup pretty early in the week, which will give us a chance for people like myself to run our projections and our models Tuesday or Wednesday in the week, and then they can just sit there all week and you can play around with them and figure out what works for you. So I mean that's pretty much how things are going to be set, and we won't have practice. They're just going to show up and go through the inspection protocol, make sure their cars are legal, and then they're going to race.
So, Jeff, when you said you had some success post-COVID when there wasn't a bunch of qualifying. What stands out to you about why that could be a bigger advantage? Like, you get to run your projections early, obviously, but does that favor certain drivers knowing that they're going to start higher in the grid, or does it favor some of the drivers in the back, DraftKings-wise, knowing that they can make up a lot of laps if they project well?
Well, yeah, it often is the other way around. Not the guys who are starting up front, but the guys who may have performed well the previous week, and because of that are really towards the middle. So we would have a reversal of the top 20 in a lot of races. Not every race last year. They didn't do it every single time, but that creates that place differential advantage that sometimes gets overlooked. People gravitate towards big names regardless of the sport. It's always my warning against doing that in football for prop betting, because usually those are the players you have the least advantage on, the big name ones. So in this instance here, though, a lot of people gravitate towards the big names and then sort of overlooking the fact that place differential can be a big factor. Looking at Daytona, that's plate track races, that's the massive factor, because there's going to be a wreck. There's probably going to be a massive wreck at the end of the race. It always seems to happen that way. And so you want to really load up on guys in the back. But I would not recommend that for every single race. I would not recommend that for the duels, for example, even though it's on the same track with the same drivers only a few days before. Those are going to play out very differently. So you do have to know the nuances of each of the races and then apply that strategy. Are there races where you want multiple dominators? You want 3 dominators? You want 2 dominators, guys who are going to dominate the entire race and lead a bunch of laps? Are there races where you want to load up on place differential guys? There's so much to it, and knowing those intricacies of each track is really key.